if you want to watch this a little later. So my name is Eric Albrechtsen. I live in Arizona, a little town called Queen Creek. My wife and I, we've lived out here in Arizona now for close to 28 years. We've got 4 beautiful children, 3 daughters and a son, and we've got 3 little grandbabies running around as well. Both of us, we grew up in northern Utah, so we're very familiar with all the snow and the cold that a lot of you guys are dealing with. I grew up working at a ski resort. That was my favorite thing. I was doing that. But Trish and I, we moved down here to Arizona mainly because we started a window washing business. And it was a lot easier to do it year round down here than having to deal with the cold and that kind of stuff. So we've absolutely enjoyed it. It's been about 70 degrees today, and the number one reason why we live here. But so let me just jump right into things. So Trish and I, like I said, when we moved down here to Arizona, we started our window washing business. And on top of that, we had started a lawn care business and a landscaping business. And the primary reason why we had all 3 businesses running was because, just like any dad, we were not only just trying to put food on the table, but we were trying to get ahead financially. But I felt like a lot of my time was being eaten up. And so that's why we added another revenue stream. But what happened, because it was more of a traditional business, is that my time was now being eaten up more and more. So I was working from 4 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, 6 days a week. A lot of time my wife would go on vacation with the kids and I would stay at home, or if I did go with them, I was tied to my phone. So maybe some of you can relate to that. But during that entire time, my wife and I, we would get approached about every business opportunity that you can even fathom. But the one that we got approached about the most was multi-level marketing or network marketing. And a lot of people, when they hear, oh, it's multi-level marketing, they duck and run. Okay, me, I was always looking for opportunity. I actually had clients that had made millions and millions of dollars from Amway and Nu Skin and Melaleuca and some of the other big billion-dollar companies. So I knew that if it was done right, it would work. But what I saw was like my mom and dad, they'd gotten involved. They never made any money. Trish and I, we got involved in a couple businesses, never made any money. Got an education, but that was it. Until we found that there's actually a formulation to this type of business. And once we cracked that code, we were then able to succeed financially in the multi-level marketing arena. Not only did we succeed, but Trish and I have literally helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of families make incomes of a couple $1,000s a month, upwards to 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000+ a month incomes because of this formulation and everything coming together. So that's what I'm going to share with you guys here tonight, because I think there's a lot of people right now with the current environment with the taxes and inflation. I mean, freaking inflation, good grief. It is the fastest inflation in the history of this country. And right now people are just trying to keep their head above water. Then you throw all the COVID stuff that's taken place and taking people's ability to earn incomes and those kind of things out from underneath them, or maybe they lost their job for one reason or the other, or hours got increased. You know, a lot of people didn't lose their job. They just got more hours, but they're not making any more money. So there's a lot of people trying to figure out this thing. The other thing is, during COVID, a lot of people learned that, hey, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money from home. And that's been Trish and I. I mean, we live here in Queen Creek, big, beautiful home on a couple of acres. And we run our multi-million-dollar business from our home, from an iPhone and a laptop. It's very, very simple. And I think a lot of people during COVID have learned that, hey, there's a lot better things to do than going and sitting in traffic for an hour or two each way every morning and night, and then sitting in an office with a bunch of people that you don't even like, and then, you know, not even get paid what you're worth, and then doing that over and over and over and over again and still not making it. So let me jump right into it. So the company we're going to be talking about tonight is a company called Activz. Okay, A-C-T-I-V-Z as in zebra. Okay, Activz was officially formulated during 2015. They spent about a year. The principal owners of this company, it's privately held and funded. These individuals spent all of 2015 organizing and putting everything together. Now, the owners of this company are not new to network marketing. These individuals have decades in this industry. As a matter of fact, we met the CEO of the company back in 2009, where Trish and I had a run with the company with them and his corporate staff. And we grew a company to a couple of $100 million a year in business. And we helped a lot of people make a lot of money. The other individuals like Ryan Thompson, we've known even longer. So let me just show you, there's some key things that if you want to succeed in any business, that you have to have in place in order for that company to succeed, whether it's multi-level marketing or not. These key components were put together by a guy named Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker is a financial analyst, and he studied companies. Why were some companies through the dot-com, why did they succeed and go on to become a multi-billion-dollar giant, and the other ones just fade off of the face of the earth? And he looked at every aspect, and what he found is that there were some key components. And what's interesting is here, Trish and I, we had our traditional business, and I was around a lot of successful individuals. And I was asking a lot of the same questions. Why was this realtor making millions? Why was this engineer making millions versus the other individuals in their same profession were not? It didn't matter the profession. There was always a select group of individuals that made more money than others. And so as a young guy, I started taking these individuals out to lunch or dinner, and I'd say, look, I got one question. What did you do different? And over a 5-year time frame, I talked to over 100 multimillionaires, and they all told me the exact same thing. And what was fascinating was when I learned about Peter Drucker and his same findings, they lined up. And that was just, I don't know if we were just asking the right questions or what, but I'm going to show you what that is because when these things line up, and it's rare that they do, because otherwise every company going to be $1 billion company, these things have to be in place. And if you're missing one of these key elements, the chances of that company succeeding long-term starts to drop and go down dramatically, okay? So Peter Drucker said the first thing is you want to look at the company. He goes, and when you're looking at and evaluating the company, he goes, you want to look at, do they have enough financial capital? Do the people that are running the company have any experience in business? Have they ever run a business? Have they run a business in the industry that they're dealing with? Okay, so you're looking for key components like that. And so with Activz, like I said, it started in 2015. The CEO of the company is a guy named David Brown. The first time that I met David Brown was in 2009. I met him at a hotel lobby in San Diego. He was the CEO of a brand new MLM that was getting started, and that was my first interaction with him. Prior to that, David has been in the health and wellness industry for the last 35 years or so. He used to be the CEO of a company called Metabolife. He took them from obscurity to over $1 billion. In the health and wellness industry, he is recognized as probably one of the geniuses within it. He gets formulations, he gets all of these different things. And so a lot of people, they come to him and they look to him for, some advice and how he's done what he's doing. So that's our CEO, is David Brown. The president of the company is a guy named Ryan Thompson. Ryan, Trish and I, we met him about 25 years ago. He got his start as a young guy. He used to work for New Skin. He was in their finance department. He used to cut the checks for the distributors. And he said, as the company was getting started, he was cutting checks, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. But he goes, as the course of time went on, he goes, these same individuals that he used to write checks for 10 grand a month, he goes, he is now writing checks for $300,000 and $400,000 and $500,000, $600,000 a month or more for these individuals. So he stepped away from the corporate side and he became a distributor. Didn't have the success because he missed the timing element of that, but it gave him an insight as to both sides of the industry. Now, today, Ryan Thompson has been involved with a number of companies. He's one of the most sought after guys. He has written a lot of compensation plans. The guy is absolutely brilliant. He gets not only the distributor side, but the corporate side, which is rare, okay? And Ryan and David, they got tired of dealing with companies and working for other companies. And so they decided to formulate and start their own business. and where they could control things, and that they weren't under anybody's rule of thumb, and that they could make things go that way that they had learned, and how things would work. So that's our president of our company. Angie Hawthorne, she is head of our IT and tech department. I've known her now for, well, about 12, 15 years. Brilliant lady, and she's surrounded herself with some of the best IT and code writers and stuff in the industry. So to putting together websites and all that kind of stuff, it's important that you have that, because they also help make sure everything flows smoothly, so everybody gets paid and on time and all that kind of stuff. So these are the three core principal owners of the company. And like I said, it's privately held. So we've dealt with publicly traded companies in the past, and that can be a nightmare in and of itself. Okay, so that's the company. They started in 2015, putting it together, and then in 2016 they actually launched the company. But rather than opening up here in the U.S. market where most companies open, because it's a U.S.-based company, they're headquartered out of West Jordan, up there by Salt Lake City, and they ended up opening up down in Mexico. The reason being is because Ryan Thompson speaks Spanish. His next door neighbor happens to be from Mexico. And they got talking, and they decided to do things a little differently, and they opened up down there. And it's been very well received. The thing is running like freaking clockwork, all the manufacturing, all the distribution. They have literally worked out all of the kinks down in Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and Chile, and all those areas that they're open up down through there, and they're crushing it. They got like 50,000+ distributors down there. They've got people making a couple of $100 a month, on upwards to, you know, a couple thousand to 20, 30, 50, all the way to $80,000+ a month down in Mexico and Central America. Okay. When you're making that kind of money down there, that's like, you know, making $250,000 a month up here. So, but here's the cool thing. The company's already in the black. Everything's run very, very smoothly. They've never missed a commission check. Everything gets shipped out on time. It's already proven. We don't have to wonder, well, will the company succeed? They've already made that happen. Now, my wife and I, we got back together with David and Ryan in 2020. And this was literally probably 3 weeks before COVID hit. We got back together. We went up to Salt Lake. We sat down. They showed us everything that I'm going to show you here tonight, because I wanted to make sure that all these components lined up. I wasn't just doing it because I knew these guys. I wanted it because all these components have to be in place. And it did. And I'm telling you, these guys that we're working with, they know what they're doing. They're good people. So there's a lot of extra layers that I can tell you that this thing is the real deal. But we went up there and we met with them. Everything lined out. They asked us to open up the US market. 3 weeks later, COVID hits and the whole world gets turned upside down. And we had to go from doing meetings in persons or hotels and things like that. We had to figure out the Zoom thing. We had to organize everything. We then we spent a year and a half while COVID was full blown and trying to sort through everything. And we organized everything. We got all the websites and literature and brochures. Everything was put together for the US market. And July of this last year is when we really kicked off the pre-launch of the US market. And so you're about 6 months or so into this. There's less than 1,000 distributors. Okay, so that's where you're looking at right now here in the US market. But we are now starting to get legs. And we'll talk about that here. So that's the company. Okay, so check mark. Okay, next thing Peter Drucker said you want to look at are the products. See, a lot of people, they look at this industry and they say, well, the products don't really matter. Well, yes, they do. Because see, if the products are just a bunch of Me Too products, and I can get that same product at a health food store, okay, then it doesn't really benefit me to be a part of it. And people will find other ways to get that product. But if you have a product that Peter Drucker said is unique, proprietary, leading edge, as well as consumable, then you have a product that people will return and order over and over and over again. And that creates residual, but also keeps your customers. Okay, so if we're talking about 8-track players, you only need one of those in your life, maybe two. Okay, but we missed the boat on that. That trend and those things are long gone. So here, everything that we're talking about tonight, I'm going to give you some websites at the end that you can go look at all the research that I'm talking about. Okay, these are not Eric's Idea of the Month Club. All the research can be proven out, scientific papers and all that kind of stuff. independent studies, all of that is there. Okay, as a matter of fact, we had the US Navy vet this company. There's a guy named Admiral Matt Winters. He was second in command. He helped with the Joint Task Force for the F-35s. He's the head of research for the US Navy. Okay, the guy is a brilliant, brilliant dude. He wanted to be a part of our company because of our scientists and our medical advisory board. He's familiar with a lot of our people. He wanted to be a distributor. The US Navy said, hold on, before you can do that, we need to come in and check everything out. So everything was literally vetted. All of David Brown, his entire corporate staff, the call center, all the financials, all of the research, everything, our compensation plan was vetted out by the US Navy. And Admiral Matt Winters is a distributor with us, as well as our medical advisory board, brilliant guy. But that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at. So the products do matter, okay? So the first product I'm going to talk to you about is a product called Genomics. Genomics is the brainchild of Dr. Joe McCord, okay? Some of you might be familiar with Dr. McCord. He's a pretty renowned scientist and researcher, but let me just kind of give you a background on him. In the late 60s, early 70s, he was studying the human cell, okay? Here's my rendition. There's the nucleus. They were studying free radicals. Free radicals, they find out, were caused by the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, every time you exercise, all of that process that creates free radicals. They were trying to figure out, were those good or bad? During that process, he happens to discover an enzyme they refer to as superoxide dismutase, or SOD. That enzyme is so important to our overall health that Dr. McCord has been nominated 4 times for the Nobel Prize in Medicine. He's been featured on pretty much every major scientific publication in the world. They actually measure it in McCord units. He was given an award called the Elliott Crescent Medal. This medal is given to individuals that their science, research, or invention has an impact on all of humanity. There's only been 300 people or so that have ever received this, and Dr. McCord was the last person to get it because of the discovery of this little enzyme, okay? Some other people that have received that award, like Orville Wright, Henry Ford, Madame Curie, and Dr. McCord, okay? So this is a big, big deal. But what he found is it was going around and eating up free radicals. It would eat 1 million of them per second, every second. But here's the problem. Our bodies, when we were born at 0, produced that up until about the age of 20. Somewhere around the age of 20, the production of that started to drop off. By the time you got between 40 to 65 plus, that enzyme wasn't being produced by the body anymore, okay? So now every time you eat, you breathe, you walk, you go exercise, anything, you created more and more free radicals. The free radicals bounce around, they cause damage to the cell. That damage leads to pretty much every known disease. It's called oxidative stress, okay? This oxidative stress is linked to diabetes, cancers, heart attacks, strokes, Alzheimer's, dementia, depression. I mean, literally everything. People ask me all the time, well, what about this? I say, literally, you can go to Google and just type in oxidative stress in any disease that you can think of, and you'll find literally hundreds of thousands of pages of research linking oxidative stress to that's the root cause, okay? So once Dr. McCord and his team knew that, then for 40 years, while he was a professor at the University of Colorado, he tried to invent a synthetic version of this. He was trying to replicate what the body had done naturally, and he couldn't do it until one of his colleagues one day said, hey, Dr. McCord, rather than trying to invent something that obviously is darn near impossible to do, what if we could just tell the body to start doing it again? And so they then took a look at these things called antioxidants, okay? Antioxidants are, a lot of people are familiar with that because it's marked on any health food product on planet Earth. Antioxidants get rid of free radicals. But here's the problem. They all work exactly the same way. Probably in the last 20 years, they've really figured this out, but marketing companies are still making billions because as soon as they put antioxidant on it, everybody thinks, oh, this is it, okay? Here's how they all work. One antioxidant molecule kills one free radical, but it kills itself in the process. So now every time you drink the juice or eat the berry or whatever it might be, doesn't matter how well it was procured and where it came from, they all work exactly the same way. To say those things aren't good for us is not true. Those things are good for us, but the primary design is not to get rid of free radicals. That's just a fringe benefit, okay? So Dr. McCord and his team, they looked at these and said, okay, let's just start toying around with different ingredients. And they ended up getting a group of ingredients, 5 of them to be exact, that when they were in the right amounts, the body did something differently. Rather than treating it as food and making more free radicals, what it did is it sent a signal to the body to start production of this enzyme again, okay? And once you took this formulation, literally within 24 to 48 hours, the body was producing this. And it was now eradicating free radicals at the same rate it did when it was 20 and younger. And this was a huge, huge breakthrough. As a matter of fact, he was featured on Good Morning America, ABC Primetime. John Quinones did a big expose on him. All sorts of notoriety because of this, because this was something that had never been done before, okay? Now, this particular product, the original one, is where I met David Brown and his original team. That particular company was publicly traded. We grew that company to a couple of $100 million. We've literally did billions of dollars in sales of this original product, but things changed. Dr. McCord left because they toyed with the formulation. David Brown and his corporate executives, they all left. And 4 years ago, Trish and I we walked away from a 7-figure income, said, okay, we're done here. And during that time frame, we had a 2-year non-compete that we couldn't do anything. But we looked at a lot of different companies and things like that, not knowing that during this time frame, David Brown had got back together with Dr. McCord. Dr. McCord had continued to further his research. See, this original process, when you took the original formulation, it only did this for a very short period of time after taking the product. And they wanted to be able to have the body produce not only this enzyme, but all the other things, along with the survival genes that our bodies control. All those things took a decline as we age. So Dr. McCord continued to work on various formulations. He's now had 5 iterations since this original formulation. His latest formulation is genomics, and it is literally 10 times more effective than this original formulation. It keeps this production of this enzyme, along with glutathione and all these survival genes, on longer than any other formulation in the world, okay? It's the #1 NRF2 activator in the world, period. We have exclusive rights to this. And Dr. McCord and his team, if they invent or come up with anything better than this, David and his team have already locked down the rights to that product as well. So that's our #1 product right there, genomics, okay? Now, the next product, Link. Link is based off of butyric acid. Butyric acid is a short-chain fatty acid. This particular ingredient, our body absolutely needs in order to stay healthy, especially all of our internals, like all of our organs, so heart, liver, lungs, kidney, brain, intestines, large, small, all of those things, they require butyric acid, or the short-chain fatty acid, to replicate and heal itself, okay? It's a specific food that they require. Now, if the body has that, then those things function and can heal and take care of themselves, and they function a lot better. The problem is we should be getting this ingredient through our natural diets, but because all of our diets suck, our bodies aren't getting it, so our body isn't able to produce that butyric acid, and therefore we end up with things like leaky gut syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, diverticulitis. So you affect all of the gut. So everything, the gut is basically from your neck on down. That's what science considers your gut. So everything there. But the other important aspect of this is that it affects your brain, okay? Being one of your organs that require butyric acid, your brain, as the aging process takes place, between, let's say you've got 2 cells, the thing that connect the brain cells are neurons. As this aging process and this situation right here takes place, and those neurons are broken and they are unable to repair themselves, even though we can fix this, we can slow down this process, they still require butyric acid for the neurons to regrow. Now, the science and the research shows that those memories can be recovered in part or in full. So if you know somebody's got dementia or Alzheimer's, or you got a family history of that, okay, this is a huge, huge important part of that. As a matter of fact, we got a guy, his name is Dr. Joe Maroon. He's head of neurology at the University of Pittsburgh. He and his colleagues, this guy has done literally thousands and thousands of brain surgeries. He and his colleagues, they created the concussion protocol. So if you know anybody that plays Pee Wee League all the way to professional sports, Olympics, all over the world, they follow Dr. Joe Maroon's protocol for concussions. If you get in a car accident and you go down to the hospital, you're going to go through Dr. Maroon's protocol for concussions. For years, he's tried to get his patients, after he did surgery or they had a brain injury or something like that, he's tried to get them to take butyric acid. But here's the problem. Again, you can find butyric acid pretty much any health food store. The problem is it tastes and smells like vomit and diarrhea. There you go. Okay. Didn't matter how well this product was, when Dr. Maroon would get done with the surgery with somebody, he would ask his patients to take it. They're like, thanks, but no thanks. We don't want to deal with that. And so for years, Dr. Maroon was looking for a way to get his patients to take it. The inventor of this product, Al Zapp, who we have an exclusive agreement with Activz, he created a formulation that wraps the butyric acid in a way that there's no taste and there's no smell. And then it time releases. So it gets past the palate, past the stomach acids, and then time releases in the intestinal tract. And immediately what starts to happen is the intestines now can start to heal. But we call it link because there's a link between the brain and the gut. As a matter of fact, the neurons in your brain all start down in your gut. There's literally hundreds of thousands of pages of millions of pages of research today indicating that. And so that's why we call it link. It's the link between the gut and the brain. Okay. Well, once that is taken part, now we can start to heal the brain. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, does things like that, and starts to regrow those neurons that have been damaged from either aging or maybe an accident or different things like that. This is a huge, huge for anybody that has any developmental issues, people that are on the spectrum. The science shows that this helps. We have a lot of kids and adults that are benefiting because of this, because of the spectrum, because of this. The other really cool thing that butyric acid does is that it's the stimulus for all of the hormones in your body. So human growth hormone, insulin. So, you know, anybody that's type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic, okay, this will help, okay? Serotonin, dopamine, all of the feel-good hormones, all of those things. So if you know somebody's suffering with depression or any issues like that, this is the catalyst to make those things function. And literally you take it, and within a few hours, the body is now producing those things at the levels that they're supposed to. So Dr. Maroon always called this the silver bullet. He goes, this is probably the most significant health thing a person could ever take because it has such an impact on your overall health. So we have this, it's patent pending. Nobody else in the world has any formulation like this. And like I said, Dr. Maroon and Dr. Patel, we've got a lot of people, that doctors and researchers that are a part of our company because of this product right here. So that's Link, okay? The other product is a product called Optimend. Optimend is based from turmeric. Turmeric is a cooking spice. A lot of people, you can probably have it in your kitchen right now, but turmeric has been known to help reduce inflammation. But here's the problem, that even though that does happen, 96% of the plant, when you take turmeric, 96% of it just gets flushed out of the body. Because see, there's only 4 molecules that are responsible for the inflammation process. And so when you take some turmeric, 96% of it's just filler. It just goes on out. The molecules can't be absorbed. So you really didn't get any benefit to that. Well, Al Zapp, the creator of Link, was able to go in with his research and his team and find and isolate the 4 molecules and concentrate them and put them in capsule form and wrap them in the same technology that Link is, so it gets past the stomach acids and then can time release into the intestinal tract so the body can absorb it, so it's not just getting flushed out. This is literally the strongest natural anti-inflammatory in the world, period. Patent pending, again, like Link, a super, super cool product. Nobody else has this in the world. This works as fast as any ibuprofen out there, but it's all natural and safe, okay? So if you know people that take ibuprofen to help with inflammation, there's a lot of issues with can happen within the gut from ulcers and all that kind of stuff. Here's a natural way. As a matter of fact, we have pain specialists that use this in lieu of other things. And it's just a great alternative to help with pain and reducing inflammation and all that kind of stuff. Now, those are our 3 top products. We have a weight loss line. It's called Arrow. Arrow's a natural drink. You mix it up and drink it. It tastes like kind of like an orange flavor to it. Super, super good. It boosts the immune or the metabolism. So now your body can burn the fats and everything like that 24/7. Super cool product. So a lot of people this time of the year, they're looking for ways to reduce their weight. And also with all the last 2.5 years, we also know that people that are dealing with COVID, that are overweight, are going to have more problems. So another reason why you would want to take and use this Arrow. It's like I said, good refreshing drink. You drink it, it's going to give you a nice boost of energy throughout the day. Awesome product. We also have a skincare line. This skincare line helps with the fine lines and wrinkles and age-related acne scarring, all these kind of things. We have technicians that when they look at our skincare, they're blown away by how many active ingredients that we have in our product and how much better it is than something that would cost $2,000 to $3,000. Our whole skincare line is like $120 for the whole system. Okay. So I've got a household of girls, my 3 daughters, my wife, and they absolutely love this. And so if you got kids that, like I said, we got acne or acne scarring, this is super, super cool skincare line. Just another thing to complement your overall health. Now, so those are our main products that we have right now. Activz plans on bringing other products to the company, but David doesn't want, just like I said, a bunch of Me Too products. He wants products that are unique, proprietary, leading edge, things that we've talked about here that are actually going to do what they say they're going to do. Because at the end of the day, that's the longevity of the company. And down in Mexico and Chile and all that kind of stuff, we're seeing this prove out. There's literally hundreds of thousands of testimonials in Spanish of people getting results from these products. So that's the product. So when you look at that, you can check mark that one. That is a huge deal. Okay. A lot of people in this industry want to just business. That's important, but the business doesn't happen unless this happens. Okay. Now, the next thing are the trends. You want to have a product, good, or service that people are interested in the time being. Right now, the 2 number 1 things worldwide are health and finances. Right now, because of COVID, people are looking for ways to deal with COVID. These 3 products, as a matter of fact, we got a published scientific study done by Dr. McCord on how our product deals with COVID. There's also studies showing how butyric acid, when that's in the system, how that boosts the immune system and how that helps deal with COVID. We've got products that are all along that line, like Optimum. So people, they get COVID and they get the inflammation in their lungs. If we can keep that inflammation down, that helps people's bodies to naturally help fight that off and deal with it. And then the scarring and things like that, there's a lot of benefits that our products can give to people that are concerned right now, not just the overall health of all the other health issues we've been dealing with, but what we've really been dealing with for the last 2.5 years. So that's high on people's list. The other thing that is number one on people's list is the financial situation. In the last year and a half, people's ability to earn incomes has definitely gone down. And the interest rates are going to be going up here. But you're looking at the inflation. We are at an all-time inflation rate. People right now, even though they might have a job, they're not being able to keep up with the taxes and the inflation right now that is just overtaking everything. So price of gas went from $1.50 to $3.50 to $5+ a gallon. Prices of meats and just your milks and cereal, all just basic commodities. Even if you can find them, the price of them is exorbitant. Okay, and people are not able to keep up with that type of inflation. So people are trying to figure out, how do I offset this? And they're looking for a plan B. I think during COVID, I think a lot of people figured out that, you know what, I need to have a plan B, because a lot of people thought everything was great, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And people lost their job, or the spouse lost the job, or the hours went up and the pay stayed the same. A lot of people are stressed out financially right now. There's some of you on this call that are trying to figure out how to cover rent and the car that just broke down, and you're trying to figure out how do you take care of these things. You've also seen people now be able to work from home, and you're trying to figure out, how can I work from home and still be able to make a decent income? So all of those things, those are the trends right now, and we have an answer for all of that. Okay, so are the trends? Another check mark. Now, the next two things are the compensation and the system. And I'm going to lump these two together because Tricia and I, we have created a system that if you will plug in, because these things have lined up, things will, you'll be able to participate in this. Matter of fact, I actually forgot probably one of the most important things. I'm looking here, like, doesn't quite look full. Right here between the products and trends, timing. In my opinion, it's like I was like, man, I'm missing something here. Timing, you can have all of these other things are important, okay? But when you're looking at trying to create an income and create wealth, you have to have a business or an opportunity with timing. If you don't have timing, then you're fighting an uphill battle. And timing is this. This is what Peter Drucker found. Business gets started over here at 0, okay? And you go for the first 3 to 5 years, and that's when 98% of businesses fail. But then they found that if a business can stick around and get to the point where it's doing $4.2 million a month for 12 months, so $50 million a year, something magical happens. All of a sudden, branding occurs. Rather than you chasing down all of your customers, now all of a sudden, those customers are coming to you. People have heard about your products and they are coming to you and literally lining up, and you almost can't make things fast enough, okay? Peter Drucker said, if you can get a business to that point, then you're going to experience hyper growth. And 80% of a company's business comes through this phase right there, okay? After that, it goes on and hits stability. Most of us, when we've experienced multi-level marketing, this is 99% of what happens. You get involved in a company, they bring in some people on seminars or CDs or whatever, or videos, and they show these individuals making all this crazy money. And you're like, okay, I'm in, okay? But then what happens is those people got in down here. So they experienced this. My experience with Tricia and I, we've gotten up here. So we were operating on this little margin of growth in the stability phase. And we couldn't figure out what were we not saying or not, needed to say. All these things were like, had nothing to do with us. People had already heard about everything that we talked about, and so they weren't interested, okay? We were the Johnny come lately type situations. In network marketing, it is no different. Guys, if whatever you can do right through here before this critical mass and momentum takes place, whatever your income is, the numbers have always said, take your income times it by 10, okay? That's how you create, not just get rich, that's how you create wealth. But And this wealth can be passed down to not only your kids, but your grandkids or to whoever you want. Okay. So Trish and I, this is something that we have always tried to look for. So during the last couple of years, when we were approached by hundreds of companies, some of these companies were great big billion-dollar companies. We're like, kind of missed the boat here. Okay, we were looking for a newer company, but then you run into the thing. It's like, well, the company's brand new. Will it survive? And so it's kind of this catch-22. So when you can actually get the company, the products, the timing, the trends, the compensation plan, and the system all lined up at the exact same time, that is rare. It is extremely rare. And when it happens, jump on that. Okay. I remember talking to my dad. I said, Dad, any advice for me as a young guy? He goes, yes. My dad was a forest ranger, and my dad never invested much or did anything. His one advice to me, he goes, if you can find an opportunity, he goes, jump on it. He goes, don't be so bullheaded and stubborn that you miss it. He goes, he had plenty of opportunities to do different things, but because he was so skeptical and all these things, he goes, I never did anything. And he goes, as a result, finances were always tight around the house. Then we got ready to retire, it became even tighter. And so his advice to me as a young guy was like, if you ever come across something, take that risk, take that chance. And I'm telling you what, this right here is about as legit as you can get, okay? Because all I'm giving you is information. I'll give you some stuff you can go look at it all. So that's timing. This right here is where Mexico is. They're at $2.5 million a month, okay? So about 25 to 30 million a year. The US market is about $120,000 to $150,000 a month right now, okay? There's less than 1,000 people right now in the US market. So you get to be first. When you can be in something like this, when there's less than 20,000 people, that's considered ground floor. Now we get asked all the time, well, can you do stuff in other countries? Yep, because of technology, 220 plus countries. Basically, if it's got a mailbox and a postal code, we can do business there, okay? So, but right here in the US, all I have to do is look at the Mexico market and say, okay, where are they at? How are they doing? They have 50,000+ distributors, and the US market has always been better than them. Then the chances of the US market having, 50 to 100 to 200,000+ distributors just here in the US is extremely likely, especially about to that 4 million, 50 million mark right there, guys. So you guys get to be first. This right here should keep you awake for excitement because this is your chance. This is your turn. So how do you take advantage of this? What's the compensation? What's the system? How does all that play in? Well, first off, you don't work for me and you don't work for Activz, okay? Activz is the supplier. They do all the manufacturing, the warehousing. They've got all the legal. They've got all the call centers. They got all the research and development. They take care of all of that stuff, okay? Here's you. This is your business. Call it whatever you want, okay? By the way, every tax law in the United States is written for people that own their own business, okay? And the best way to take advantage of that is if you can run your own business from your house, there's even more tax advantages, okay? So this is your business. There's a $250 package or there's a $500 package. The $500 package is what I suggest to people to do, okay? The $500 option is going to give you about $890 worth of product. And you're going to get multiples of everything that I've talked about here tonight. So that sets you up in business to have enough for not only for you and your spouse, maybe your mom and dad. It gives you some, in case somebody asks you right away, hey, you got something I can try? You have stuff right on hand with you to get started, okay? So that's the best option. Our goal is just word of mouth marketing. And that is all multi-level marketing is. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't know about that, Eric. Guys, that's all word of mouth marketing. Just that's it. Okay. When you watch a YouTube video, somebody sends you a YouTube video as word of mouth. Somebody recommended it to you. Or maybe you watch these YouTube videos and they have this is sponsored by XYZ company. That content creator gets paid to talk about that company's product. That's all multi-level marketing is, guys. These companies will pay you and I to talk to other people about their products, goods, and services and the financial opportunity. That's it. It's not any harder than that. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you, we've got 9+ bonuses. I'm going to show you a couple of them. I'm going to show you, we have a one-time bonus. So when somebody gets involved with you, and I'm going to show you the residual side. Okay. The residual to me is the important stuff, because that means you have a product that is being used and consumed consistently for a long period of time. Let's say you want to go on vacation, your income never drops. It continues to go, no matter if you go to sleep or anything like that. Okay. To get to the very top of our company, all you need is 4 legs or 4 organizations. So that's all we teach people, is you just need to find 4 people on planet Earth right now that would like to have some products to deal with this stupid virus and all the other health issues that are out there, and find a way to make some money that they can do it from home. Okay. You find 4 people, it's pretty easy right now to be able to do that. Okay. Let's say they come in just like you came in here at the $500 option. Let's say they do the same thing. Okay. The company says, we will pay you 20% of that 500. Okay. Well, add that all up, that's $100 each. So you just made $400 for bringing on 4 people. Well, what if you sign up 5 people? Well, everybody's got 4 positions underneath them. Okay. So if you sign up a 5th person, you get to place that 5th person somewhere down here below you. So now you're working together as a team, as opposed to everybody's just kind of trying to get as many as they can. Everybody's working together. Okay. So this creates kind of a waterfall effect there. Now, so this right here is the basis of what I teach people to do. There's literally 20 people. Find 20 people. Find 4 and help those find 4. So this is the original setup. Okay. Now, when these original 4 people, the following month, because they're going to run out of product, they're going to be set up on an auto ship, okay, or recurring order. The average person in the United States spends about $250. Okay. That 250 is going to get you 2 genomics, 2 link, and 2 Optimum. As a matter of fact, the company then throws in, and that includes shipping and everything else. Now you also get, I think, an extra genomics on top of that. Okay. But if those 4 individuals are doing that, residually, you're going to make about $100. I get some people like, well, that's not a whole lot. I'm like, yeah, but if I give you $100 while you're filling up your gas tank tomorrow morning, you'll take it. Okay. The duplication is what is the fun stuff. So those 16, let's say they each do a 500 enrollment. The company's going to pay you $570 collectively as those individuals sign up. Now, this fast start bonus, like I said, if you sign these individuals up tomorrow or tonight, next week, the company will send you that check. So this one time, these checks are sent out every single week. If those 16 people each do 250, you are going to make $250 residually. So now not only is your business set up, all of your initial costs are recovered, but you're literally getting product for free at this point. Everything from this point on out is pure profit. And here's the beauty of duplication, because those 16, if they each get 4, that's 64 people on that level. The one-time bonuses, you're going to make $4,000 from those 64 people enrolling if they each come on with 500. Okay. Residually, you're going to make $1,500 a month. So now you're making $18,000+ a year with 100 people. Okay. An extra $18,000 to $20,000 a year, that starts to make a big difference. Okay. This right here will offset a lot of the stress that you're having financially at your house. Okay. But you've also, on top of that, you made $4,500 just off of the fast start bonuses. You can do this week 1, week 2, week 3, or month 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So this is a way to create income very, very quickly. Those 64 get 4, that's 256. One-time bonuses, you're making $10,000 from that. Residually, you're making $5,000. So now you're at $60,000 a year residually, okay? And you've now made $15,000+ just from people signing up. Okay, that's real money. Okay, add an extra 15 grand to this year's income just within the first couple of months of this year. That's going to help things out a lot. Well, let's continue that down. So it's 256, each get 4, that's 1,024. You're going to make $20,000 from those individuals signing up. So now you're at $35,000. That's a lot more than what a lot of people make from their full-time job. Okay, you didn't even know any of these people, but the company's willing to pay you a royalty because you got the ball rolling. Okay, as far as residually, you're making $15,000 a month. Okay, so that's, now you're starting to get into some pretty big incomes. That's just off of 2 bonuses. On top of that, they're going to throw in a car bonus. When you get to about $10,000 a month residually, so your business is doing $100,000 a month in volume, the company will send you every single month $500 that you can put towards your car payment. Okay, as your business grows, they will increase that. So it goes from $500 to $600 to $700, all the way up to $1,000 every single month that you can put towards your car payment. And when that car is paid off, guess what? Go buy another one. They'll keep sending you the money. You can just go buy a different car and maybe give the other one away, or maybe now you've got enough for everybody in the household. But that's our car bonus. We have another bonus that every month they take 10% of the gross sales worldwide and they put it into a kitty. Okay, so if you want to get a percentage of all the stuff that's going on down in Mexico, you can get a percentage here. What they do is they take that 10%, they split it out into 1% income, or little increments here. Okay, and when you get to about this $250 to $300 a month residual, now you get to split 1% of everybody that's at that level and above. As your business grows, you pick up another 1% and then another 1%, to where you can now get a total of 10% of the company's gross sales worldwide, and you're splitting it between you and I and a few of our closest friends. Okay, so what happens? Okay, so this year, let's say Mexico does 40 to 50 million. Okay, well, what's that split between us and a few of our friends? Well, but what about here in the US? When we're doing 50 million, so now there's $100 million, and they take 10% of that and split it out between a few of us. Okay, this bonus right here is a profit sharing bonus. And this, in our last company, we had a very similar bonus, but it was 4%. So this is literally 2.5 times bigger than that. This means that literally 2.5 times more. I remember when we just split 4%, that paid me and Trisha more than we used to make in a year. We would get paid in a month just from 4%. Guys, this bonus right here, the people that are getting this already down in Mexico is huge. They're like, it's just blowing them away. And now as the US market's picking up, they're picking up here. So it's a really good, everybody's working together. And so everybody's on the same team, okay? They also got a bonus that when you get to $75,000 in volume your first year, from the time that you sign up, you have 1 year to get to this. They split 1%, they take 1% of the gross sales every single month, and they split it with anybody that gets to 75,000 and above in the first 12 months. Okay, but you only have 1 year to qualify for that bonus. But it's, again, it's called a founder's bonus. So there's lots and lots of ways for the company to pay out. There's incentive trips and all sorts of things that you can be a part of that Activz does. But one of those things that's really cool is I've talked to the people down in Mexico. They have never missed a commission check. Everything's been paid out on time, in full. Everything's always it's running like clockwork. Okay, so if you're looking for a way to make money and you want to capitalize on everything that's taking place, guys, this comp plan is the real deal. We pay 8 levels of dynamic compression. So in a sense, you can literally get paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of levels, because the way dynamic compression and the computer looks at everything, it's a pretty crazy concept. And you will literally get paid hundreds of levels deep from you. So there's all sorts of different bonuses. What we're looking for, guys, are individuals that get everything that we've talked about right here. Okay, what we have is something really, really special. It is starting to take off big time here in the US. We got people that already within the last few months, for example, guys, this is what timing does. We got a lady in St. George, Utah. She works at Walmart. She's done that for 15 years as a checker there. Her check last month was well over $3,000 residually. And this woman, when I met her, she was the most shy person on planet Earth. But because timing, it doesn't matter who you are. You just have to start putting stuff in front of it, because everything else is all lining up and it's taking care of itself. So again, it doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your education, doesn't matter what you had experience before or not experience or any of those things. It makes the level playing field. And guys, things are exciting. So where can you find more information? Well, get back with the person that brought you. Okay, I'm going to actually write my phone number down right here. You can text me your information. I'll put it in my contacts, or if you have questions. My phone number, so Eric, 480-720-4733. Okay, text me. And if you got questions, let's answer them. If you got other people you want me to talk to, we can do that. We can do one-on-ones. Every night we have a call like this. Usually it's at 7 o'clock Mountain, but there was a group of you that needed it at 8 o'clock, so we accommodate that. My goal right now is to do whatever it takes to help you guys get your piece of the pie. Now, activz.info, okay, ACTIVZ, Z as in zebra, info, has everything about our company, everything about our compensation plan, everything, a bunch of videos of Dr. McCord and Admiral Winters. I mean, everything you can think of, we've tried to organize there that you can click down through the different headings and get answers there, okay? And it's just an incredible resource. All the, like, people ask me, well, you got the deal on Dr. McCord's deal with COVID? Yep, it's on there. Do you got the studies on type 2 pre-diabetics? Yep, it's on there. All of that stuff is there for you guys to go get the information, okay? Now, the other one is Activz, ACTIVZ, presentation.com. So activzpresentation.com is this same presentation, but it's my lovely wife narrating it. There's a bunch of slides that you can watch. It's about 25 minutes long. So she goes through everything and walks through everything that we've talked about here, shows in depth a little bit more. You actually get to see the ABC Primetime with Dr. McCord, and then the comparative, his charts showing that original product to where we're at today. He published a chart showing that information, so that's all in there as well. But those two places should give you everything that you need. And if you have other questions, get a hold of me or get a hold of Tricia. Typically, we'll go out. We also do meetings in person. So if you get a group together, like we got a group up in Utah that's just cranking, and we'll even have like the David Brown. He'll come with me, or I'll fly out there. We will do whatever it takes to help you guys get the momentum and be able to capture as whatever it is that your goals are with Activz. So again, our goal is to help everybody just find 4. And if we can do that, guys, we'll help a lot of people. I believe that when you help good people make money, they'll do good things with it. We have some charities that we are working with. One is called Life Water. We're organizing with them that we'll be able to make some contributions and help build wells around the world. Incredible organization. We've got another organization that will help build some homes and stuff down in Mexico. We've got some others, one with helping trafficked and battered women and things like that, and kids. So a lot of ways we're trying to help people. But let's take care of your finances there to your house. Okay, because once we got those things taken care of, then we can start branching out and doing some other things. But you first got to, take care of things at home. Let me and Tricia and the team here with Activz and the people that invited you to the Zoom help you do that. And let's make this go. So guys, let's make 2022 the greatest year ever, that you never have to worry about money again. Okay, let's just put all this in the pipeline and get it rolling. And let's go change some lives. Let's be the answers to the prayers of those people that are literally trying to figure out what are they doing to help out with their health because they're stressed about COVID and they're stressed about the financial situation. So guys, thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much, guys.
Trish.
I'll talk to you a little later.
Absolutely.
Like I said, if you have questions, text me your information and I'll throw it in there and we can go from there.